Hey, everybody, welcome into STL Sports Central, presented by DraftKings. The crown is yours. And this is Domesticated Gamblers, your home for St. Louis sports gambling talk. I'm Eric Sontag. There is Shawn Surwillo. We are live with you every Wednesday night here on the STL Sports Central YouTube channel, talking sports betting and covering our hometown teams from a gambling perspective. So, a big show tonight because the St. Louis Blues season opener is tomorrow. I've been waiting for this. So we will have picks for their game against the Minnesota Wild. Also, a massive, massive weekend in college football with our area teams. You got Mizzou and Alabama on Saturday in Columbia, and the Illini are hosting #1 Ohio State on Saturday in Champaign. We'll break down those games and tell you where our action is. And man, it was a crazy week 5 in the NFL with big favorites just dropping like flies. So we'll have our bets and leans for every game on the schedule for week 6. We'll see if we're going to have some chalk this week after the dogs were barking last week, Mr. Sharp. So a lot of big games to talk about tonight. Should be a real fun show. So how you doing tonight?
Doing real good. Life's crazy, as Tito says, running around with the chicken with my head cut off kind of deal. To quote the great Tito, yeah, things are going good, man. Junior Jags are 4-0. We pulled out the win in Eureka, 16-14. We came back in the second half, and we scored a touchdown with 40 seconds to go. And the Zebras tried to give it back to the home team. They throw a pass interference flag on a 40-yard throw at the 9U here we're talking about. But we still held them out of the end zone, and we got the W. So we got the bye this week, and things are going good, man. I took the week off in the NFL. I didn't bet much. I had a busy weekend, had the game to coach, and then I had to head down to Lake of the Ozarks for an out-of-town wedding. So I just kind of unplugged this weekend. I didn't watch much football at all, and I'm ready to get back to it this week, though.
Yeah, I wanted to talk to you about that too, because, especially someone like you that is doing this really for secondary income, while most other people are doing this for entertainment when it comes to sports gambling. Like that was a good example. Like you don't have to bet just to bet, right? I mean, like a lot of
Yeah.
other people, they can't help like getting some action. I'm certainly guilty of that myself sometimes. But if you're really trying to do this seriously, really trying to win, there's going to be some days or some weeks you just don't have time to really break down these games like you normally need to. And if you're not in the right mindset, you don't get to go through your normal process. It's okay to sit this one out and move on the next week, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. I think if you look on the Action Network, I'm up, I don't know, $900 in NFL, $1,000. But that's the thing. I didn't love this weekend. I talked about it on our show last week. I didn't love the card. It seemed like an odd card. It was a tough weekend, and it showed up, right? A lot of weird games. So I didn't love it. I was busy, and I didn't really want to chase any action. I bet Thursday night just to bet it, and I shouldn't have did that. And I just need to be more disciplined and get back to betting the games I love, not just chasing action. This show makes me bet more than I normally would. Talking to you every week and talking to the fans about gambling just gets my juices going a little more than they should. But yeah, don't chase. I mean, we're heading into what, week 5, week 6 now, right?
Six, yep.
Yeah. So we still got 11 more weeks in the regular season with playoffs. So we got plenty of time to build that bankroll. And my goal is to be around $3,000 to $4,000 profit by the end of the season. Then we go into the playoffs with a bigger bankroll, and then we throw $500, $1,000 a game around for me. That's what I like to do, and then we'll see what happens by the end of the NFL season. That's just how I like to gamble with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, if you're watching, get involved in the live chat. We got Tim, with us, of course, Mr. Sharp. The Gators are here. The Gators, a big win over Texas last week. I lost some cash on that one, but the Gators showed up. So yeah, get involved, become part of the show. Let us know what's on your mind. Let's talk some gambling here tonight. Also hit the like button, subscribe to the STL Sports Central YouTube channel if you haven't already. And let's get right into it and talk some Blues hockey, Shawn, because the
Yes.
wait is almost over, man. The season openers tomorrow night at home against the Minnesota Wild. And this is the most excited I would say I've been for a Blues season since probably the year after they won the Cup. And I think it's just because like I get the sense that we are just now entering really what could be a nice long window here of this team being a playoff contender. for the next several years under Jim Montgomery. And we're kicking this thing off here right away. It is a big game because the Wild and the Blues are expected to be close together in the Central Division standings, just like they ended up last season. The Blues season point total still sitting at 92.5 on DraftKings. Minnesota's season point total is 95.5. So these games matter. The Blues come into this one as a favorite. I'll get into here in just a second, but the omelet dude is with us, says Archie is a fraud. Archie Manning is definitely a fraud. I don't know why Texas is favored against Oklahoma this weekend. Last I checked, maybe we'll talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, thanks for joining us, omelet dude. But let's get into this Blues game, Shawn. The Blues are favorite here. They're minus 125 on the money line. Minnesota's at plus 105. Total is at 5.5 with some juice to the over at minus 122. So give us your thoughts on this game and the Blues in the chat as we get ready to kick off the season. And Mr. Sharp, how do you see this one going tomorrow night against Minnesota?
I think Monty's going to have the boys ready to fly around and home opener to start the season. I mean, I know I'm excited for the Blues season just like everybody else. All the Bluesers, we're back together, baby. Here we go. Chase the cup. I like the Blues in this spot, and I don't mind laying the juice here. I think the home opener, season opener, I think Monty gets the win. And, I'm not going to give you my breakdown on hockey because I'm not the hockey guy, but I'm going to bet just because of fan perspective. Here's a little bit of a Tito. I want the Blues to have a good season. I think the home opener is the right time to throw a little cash on them.
Yeah, little half unit. Don't mind that one bit, but I think that it's a good lesson. I'm going to preface this by saying just when it comes to gambling, like I highly recommend treading lightly early in seasons in most sports.
Yes.
And I would include the NHL in that mix. Like I saw this dude on Twitter yesterday, all excited for the start of the NHL season. He's on the Action Network as well. He had 10 bets in last night for just 3 games with sides, totals, and props. He went 0-10 and lost 10 units.
Oh my God.
So you're starting the season in a hole there. I would just really be careful because like I know we have these preconceived notions about who these teams are going to be. And for me, and like this is the way I am with a lot of decisions I make in many aspects of my life. It served me well over 43 years. But I want data and numbers to support my case in making what I feel is the best bet or just the best decision for anything in my life. And at the start of the season, we just don't have any data yet.
Yeah.
So like I made the mistake in baseball. I had way too much action early on in the season before patterns had developed. At one point this season, I was down over 30 units in baseball, but I rallied. It was the second half. I was more selective. I had a bigger sample size of data to work with. Baseball is really good for that with, it's 162 games, all these numbers. I ended up rallying and only finished down 9 units in baseball this year. So that was just an example for me. Like I'm still up over 37 units in all sports overall since starting to track my plays in that free Action Network app. But how much would I be up if I would have treaded more lightly? Because what I've noticed with myself, I tend to get better in a sport as it gets deeper into a season. So have you noticed that at all, Shawn? I know like the NFL might be a little bit different, but what do you think of that angle in terms of just like, treading a little bit lightly as we get going here?
No, totally agree. I tread lightly in the baseball season to start the year. I don't really get going until June, maybe July. I like to really watch teams, see what a team has. But I think early on you can pick out those teams that maybe have that dog in them, and then you see the dog in the line too. So like they're a dog. Detroit Tigers this year for baseball. They weren't, they were high, but they didn't think they'd be this good of a team. And early in the season, they were, pretty good cash cow. So always trends, but from your perspective, I do agree. Like NFL, I took this weekend off, didn't love anything. I think we're still kind of figuring out who teams are right now with the injuries, backups starting to get reps. So I'm with you. I agree. Tread lightly to start the NHL season.
Yeah, especially with the NHL, we're like, let's be real. I mean, we're not following all 30 teams like we are with the NFL, when you can name all these players, on all the teams. So, but just, I agree with you. If you're looking for some action tomorrow night, just itching to get going here, I think you got to fire a dart on the Blues here. The omelet dude says Broberg is going to have a career year. He looked fantastic in the preseason. Like this team, I just feel like they're they're ready for this to get going here. And we always like to say you never fuck with a winning streak, right? So like I
Yeah.
know this goes back to last season, but the Blues have still won 15 consecutive games at Enterprise Center. Dating back to winning 3 games against the Jets in the first round of the playoffs. So, like, I don't want to fade that streak. And just I know it's preseason. I'm not going to take much from preseason, but just like the last 2 games in particular, they looked fantastic. They outscored their opponents 11-1. Broberg was terrific. Robert Thomas looked dynamite. I think Dylan Holloway, it's clear that probably the biggest thing I took away from preseason, he's back. He looks
Yeah.
awesome. He looks healthy, which is massive. And even Binnington had a couple games ago, he stopped 36 of 37 shots. So, like, boys are ready to go here. We've actually seen some line movement in this game. The
Oh, I
Blues
think everybody too, Jimmy Snuggerud. I mean,
oh,
everybody's excited for this kid. I can't wait to watch him all season.
yeah, I agree. And just like with this line movement a little bit, it is a -110 for both teams. Now up to -125 for the Blues. It probably means there's some smart people on the Blues because it's not like the NHL is getting a ton of public action.
I see 99% of the bets are on Minnesota right now.
Oh my
It
God.
can't be right. Can't be right.
Yeah, I'm sure there's gonna be more flooding in tomorrow. But just right now, like it's not, football's in full swing. MLB playoffs are going on. This is not a big public sport right now.
Right.
So, I would think for the line to move the way it did, there is some big money on the Blues, if not necessarily number of tickets per se. So I would lean Blues here. Also think we could get some goals here. I saw the overs cashed in 4 of the last 5 meetings with these teams, with an average of over 7 goals per game. So over might be a fun way to attack this one as well, but my lean for this game would be the Blues on the money line at -125. It's going to be talking hockey again. I know the Godson. We've been chatting about overs in the NHL. He's a big fan of that, getting going. So it's good. October is a great time of year here with
He
kind of
loves
all
them
these sports
overs.
coming together.
Godson loves them overs in the NHL, and I got to dabble a little bit more in the NHL this season.
Yeah, but like I said, let's wait for these trends to emerge. I see, at least on the Action Network, 55% of the bets are on the Blues, 45% on the Wild. So
Mm.
it's possible we're looking at different sites. Maybe yours isn't fully updated yet, but really, really excited to get going with Blues hockey here, and really excited for these college football games this weekend as well. Let's talk about this huge game on Saturday in Columbia with Mizzou and Alabama. And our Mizzou coverage here in Domesticated Gamblers is brought to you by James Carlton with State Farm Insurance. And I know 2 of the things that James is most passionate about is taking care of his clients and also Mizzou athletics. So, like, especially if you're a Tiger fan, get a quote from James Carlton with State Farm, mention Domesticated Gamblers or STL Sports Central. And even if you don't end up going with him, he's going to make a donation on your behalf to Mizzou's NIL fund. But if you get that quote, man, I'm highly confident you're going to want to make the switch to James Carlton for your home and auto policies or whatever other insurance might apply to your situation. He is now my insurance agent, and there's really 2 reasons for that. One, this guy is a rock solid professional. Obviously, I know he's with a reputable agency in State Farm, but just more than that, James Carlton has over 450 5-star reviews on Google. Okay, like not many agents have reviews like this. So you can be assured if you get in a spot where you really need your agent to come through for you. I know a lot of others fall short, but James Carlton is as good as it gets when it comes to taking care of his clients. He's got all those reviews to back it up. And secondly, like there's just a very good chance he can save you a bunch of money. For me, I'm saving over $800 this year because I made the switch to James Carlton for my home and auto policies. So again, get a quote, mention Domesticated Gamblers or STL Sports Central, and they'll make a $20 donation to Mizzou's preferred NIL fund, which is the Will to Win Fund. Seriously, just takes a few minutes to get a quote. My recommendation, just save PDFs of your current policies so you have them. Send them on over to James and his teams. See if they can save you money on those same policies so you're comparing apples to apples. So give them a call, 314-961-4800, or go to carltoninsurance.net. If your insurance costs a leg and an arm, call James Carlton, State Farm. And let's get into Mizzou and Alabama. As the Omelet Dude says, Mizzou wins as home dogs, baby. Let's hope that happens here on Saturday because I cannot wait for this. This line started as Alabama -6.5. It has been bet all the way down to -3. So some big time action on the Tigers here. Total's 51.5. We know where the omelet dude stands. If you're watching out there, let us know your thoughts in the chat. What's your best bet for this game? How you feeling on the Tigers? And Mr. Sharp, I'll let you start us off. Ask you the same thing. Just how do you see this one on Saturday? Just the anticipation. Like I cannot wait for this.
I'm going to tell you, as a Mizzou fan most of my life, growing up here in Missouri, you got a knot in your stomach before this game, and you're going to have a knot in your stomach the whole game. And it's going to be a tight game. I think this thing's going to come down to the last possession. Personally, Mr. Sharp's going to hedge himself here, emotional hedge bet. I'm going to take Alabama, and I'm not going to care if Missouri wins and covers. So I'm going to take Bama -3. It's tough, but this is just an emotional deal here because I'm going to be fully invested in the Tigers to win. This is probably going to be a half unit bet for me, $50. I lose $50, Missouri wins. I don't give a crap, right? I don't give a crap. But if Missouri loses, the $50 makes me feel better. That's the only breakdown I can give you of this game. Just a little bit of, my heart on my sleeve here because I'm nervous. We've seen Missouri blow these things, and I'm just nervous. Bama's a big-time, football team. So I think Missouri's playing great football. Don't get me wrong. I'm just emotionally hedging this one out to take the emotions out of it a little bit. But fight, Tiger, fight. I'm ready for this game.
Well, you are leveraged there, though, because if somehow Alabama wins this thing by 1 or 2, you are getting the double whammy of all double whammies. I see the money line on DraftKings is -162 on Alabama. I saw earlier this week you could find Mizzou to not make the playoff, and that was at -215. That could be another way to emotionally hedge yourself because, that's kind of like that's the ultimate goal here, right? I know that's what I'm looking for. I want Mizzou to make the playoff. Like I need to see this happen.
We
Hopefully
must.
They could yes, we got to see this happen. But just this game Saturday, man. First of all, I'm just like really surprised by the line movement. Yeah. I mean, Mizzou's the redheaded stepchild of the SEC. They're going up against the biggest brand in all of college football, maybe, and just seeing that line movement is very surprising. I think that's a good sign. If you're a Tiger fan too, that there's some smart people out there that are betting Missouri. I don't have a play on the side here just because I could totally see this game going either way. I really am truly expecting this to be close, like a 60-minute fight. I think Mizzou's ready for this. It's just they're at home. They've been dominant here over the last 3 seasons. They've only lost 1 game at home, and the only game was that Jaden Daniels basically single-handedly beat them on his way to winning the Heisman Trophy for LSU. So the side, I can't, just from a gambling perspective, just objectively cannot get there. I actually really like the total here. And I just think the over is the way to go because I just think both these teams have a clear strength on offense, and those strengths match up perfectly with the glaring weakness on the other team's defense.
Yeah.
So and just for Mizzou offensively, go ahead. Yeah, if you got a point, feel free.
Yeah, with Simpson here, I mean, I think he's hitting at 70% completion rate, 13 touchdowns, 1 pick.
Yep.
Is Drink going to get the secondary fixed? That's going to probably be what this game comes down to. So, yeah, I can see. I agree here with the over a little bit, but man, it's going to be tough to lay. Take the +3, and if Mizzou loses, I just got to emotionally hedge this. But I agree with you though. I think you're right on with the over.
Yeah, it's actually in pocket for me. I bet it today. It's just Ahmad Hardy. He's one of, if not the best running back in the country. Tigers 3rd in the country in rushing yards per game. And this Alabama defense is getting gashed on the ground. This is not your Nick Saban defense that is just so dominant up front. Alabama's 87th in the country in rushing defense. Florida State ran for 230 against them. Georgia put up 227 on the ground. I don't know what the hell Vanderbilt was doing. That game was close basically the whole way. They threw 35 passes and only ran 19 times. They were averaging over 7 yards per carry. So I don't know why Vandy got away from the ground game. So I just think Hardy is going to totally eat here. And even if Alabama does stack the box, I mean, Hardy has shown he's better than anyone in the country at breaking tackles. So I think he can still get yards after contact. But if somehow he's not effective and it's, they're stacking the box, it's 1-on-1 on the outside, Mizzou still has tons of playmakers, with the receivers and Brett Norfleet to make some plays. I I don't think this is the way that the transfer portal and NIL has completely changed college football, where the talent is spread all over the place now. Where
Yeah.
before I'd be worried that Mizzou couldn't win those one-on-one battles on the outside, but now I have confidence that Coleman and company are going to be able to get theirs too if Hardy's getting stopped. And just on the other side, like you mentioned it, like Ty Simpson, this is absolutely terrifying with this Missouri secondary. He's been
The good news
incredible.
is we're coming off the bye week, and you think that Drink's got it in there and they fix this thing. That's what you're thinking here. After the bye week, the secondary shouldn't be blowing these assignments. So I think you'll have the boys ready to go. It's going to be a close game, and everybody in Missouri is going to be, you're going to have that knot in your stomach the whole game. Like,
Yeah.
are we going to hold out? Are we going to win this thing? And I feel pretty good, but I'm just going to emotionally hedge this thing.
Yeah.
I think that's where you got to go here.
That's another reason I like the over too, is because I do agree, like Drinkwitz, like he has to have adjusted over these last couple weeks, to be prepared for this passing attack. But still, if Mizzou sells out to try and stop the pass, Alabama can just pound the rock with Jan Miller, who had 22 carries for 136 yards last week against Vandy. So like, I just think both teams are going to score a lot. And like I said, like even if the defenses adjust to take away the other team's strength, I think there's enough talent on these offenses where they could score in different ways. So
Yeah.
that's why I really like the over 51.5. Just objectively, I think it's probably one of my favorite bets of the weekend. I know it's kind of a big number, but for college, it's actually not that big.
Yeah, I mean, I do think Bama's going to try to shut down Hardy. They're going to put the game on Perbulia and see if he can make the throws down the field to win. I just don't know if he can. But, Hardy's averaging 7 yards a carry this season.
Yeah.
But this will be his toughest test so far.
Yeah, no doubt. And just the eye test with him, like he cannot tackle this guy. He's unbelievable. No. Like his thighs are like tree trunks. The dude is unreal. B. Fishman says it's for the Heisman. Like this will go a long way. Like if Mizzou pulls this out and they'll be a top 10 team next week, Hardy's going to start getting Heisman buzz. And if this Mizzou team can go 10-2, make the playoff, very good chance he's in New York as a finalist. The Omelet Dude says Bama's had 2 big games coming in. They're run out of steam. I think I actually saw a stat earlier today. I can't cite it off the top of my head exactly what it was, but I think it was something along the lines of there's only been 3 teams over the last, X number of years that have faced 3 consecutive ranked teams back to back to back and won all 3 games, which is what Bama's trying to do here. It's very possible they just don't. They can't get it done, and maybe they do run out of steam. This Alabama team is very good, but this is not the kind of team that strikes fear in you like we've seen.
Yeah, this ain't our dad's Bama teams. This is our Bama teams. Yeah, a little watered down version.
Yes. So I do think this game is going to be very close. I'm not so sure about the other big game in Champaign on Saturday with Illinois hosting number 1 Ohio State. Buckeyes are a 2-touchdown favorite here. This line actually came down a half point today. It was 14.5. It's now sitting there at -14 on the Buckeyes. Totals 49.5. If you got thoughts in chat on this one, or if you have any other college football bets this weekend, I'd love to hear them. We'll talk about them. Sean, I know you and me are a lot more locked in on the NFL than college. So if we got college sharps out there, would love to hear about it.
Yes.
But what do you think on this game here with the Buckeyes and the Illini? Again, big number in Champaign, but Ohio State's just been nasty so far this year, on defense especially.
I think the Fighting Illini show up and they keep this thing close enough. So I would take the 14.5 here. I think, this got to be their Super Bowl game, right? This is it for them, the national championship. I think Illinois, the crowd, it's going to be crazy. Is that an 11 o'clock start? Yeah, 11 o'clock start. I would take the 14.5 here with the hook. I don't like it, below the key number of 14, but I like it at 14.5 with the hook. So I would take Illinois with that. I understand Ohio State's a powerhouse, but I just think that this is going to be a little closer game. Illinois is going to be pumped up for this game. They got, when number 1 comes into your place, like you're ready to go. So the boys will be ready to play. I like it with 14.5.
Yeah, but Ohio State's just so used to that, though. They always get everyone's best shot for decades now, it feels like.
Yeah.
I know this isn't like a very sexy thing to say on a gambling show, but I just feel like this line is right. Like I was thinking going into it, probably, Ohio State by about 2 touchdowns, and I saw the line. I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's where we're at. And basically, again, numbers, data. I try and look at this like The total's 49.5. It's basically an implied score of 31-17 for the Buckeyes. I'm just more confident that Ohio State can get to 31 than Illinois can get to 17, just from a numbers perspective. So, like, Buckeyes, they're elite every year on defense. That is certainly the case again this year. They have yet to give up double-digit points in a game this season, which is just like crazy. And that's two conference opponents and Texas. It's not like they're just playing all bums. I know a lot of people were talking up Washington's offense a few weeks ago. They were a trendy pick to cover, maybe even upset Ohio State outright. I didn't buy that. That was actually part of my best bet that week. Buckeyes only gave up 6 points in that game to Washington. So, like, this defense is incredible. I do think Illinois probably is the best offense they've faced, but just until somebody shows me they could do some damage against this Ohio State defense, like, I'm not going to fade them. And I'm worried about the Illinois defense. I think Ohio State could probably put up 30 here. Just, they have not been good in conference play. I know they were all beat up in the Indiana game. They also lost their captain to a targeting call in that game, but they got ripped apart for 63 points by Indiana. USC scored 32 on them, racked up almost over 500 yards, even though Illinois won that game. It was a great game. And even Purdue put up 27 last week and almost 500 yards. So, like, I actually wouldn't dissuade someone from taking Ohio State's team total over 31.5. But I think you'll appreciate this, Sean. People say, what's the big difference between 31.5 and 30.5? But that is a very key number. If for whatever reason that 1 point difference bothers me, like, I think it'd be a bet for me if it was over 30.5 on the team total. Yeah. Basically, if you're taking over 31.5, you're basically saying they need to score 34. Right. Because 32 and 33 are not common numbers. So, so those numbers matter, right? In terms of when to decide when to pull the trigger or not.
Correct. Oh yeah. I mean, it has to matter. That's key numbers. That's what we're talking about. Key numbers. That's like a first half play that we like to play. Key numbers 21 or 23. That's the key number. If you get 21.5, you think it's a 3-score game. First half, that key numbers always. Yep.
Yeah. Illinois' team total 16.5. So again, like, if you want the over, you need to score 17, but like,
it's 14.5.
Exactly. It's basically 14.5. Yeah. So yeah, we're right on the same page with that. So it's a pass for me. No official play. I would lean Ohio State on the spread, also the over on their team total. But just they've shown too, they're willing to just grind out wins instead of running it up.
I just think if you're going to bet it, you take Illinois. This is not an official play for me, but that's how I would bet it.
The Godson's in the chat. The Godson's late, had to drive home, but his first hockey over of the year is down. We were just talking about that.
Where does Godson play hockey? We talking ice hockey? What do we got? Floor hockey? What's Godson doing?
Well, I don't know where he was driving home from, but yeah, I know he was on the over of Canadians and Maple Leafs tonight. Over 6. This is why it's a perfect example of why it's good to bet overs in hockey. 2 empty net goals. Went from a 3-2 game where you're losing. The Leafs scored 2 empty net goals in the last minute and a half. Game goes over.
My God.
So I know a lot of times overs are square plays in other sports. A lot of times people just they go for favorites and overs just kind of by default. But hockey, I think there's an absolute edge there, especially if it totals 6.5. If a game ends 3-3 in regulation, you win, even though it's 6, because 6 equals 7. Because even if it goes to shootout, it ends 4-3. That is counted as a goal, where you cash the over 6.5. So, be looking at a lot of hockey overs.
I had a guy one time argue with me that the overtime or the shootout goal should all count towards the over.
Oh, like every single goal scored in the shootout?
Yeah, it was a whole thing.
Sounds like a guy that's probably lost a lot of money on taking overs over the years.
Yes.
It's a truly beautiful thing, says the Godson, with the hockey math, I like to call it. 3 + 3 = 7. The Omelet Dude says OSU hasn't played anyone since Texas in week 1. I think that's fair. I mean, Texas isn't even ranked anymore, but you can only play with who's in front of you, and they played 2 conference games in Minnesota and at Washington. Like I said, Washington got down to, I think they were just a 7-point dog in that game. Yeah. They were very trendy. Pretty much everyone I follow on the Action Network app, the professional gamblers and college football insiders, were on Washington to cover that spread. I didn't buy it. And Ohio State just ripped them apart. And the main thing is that they just don't give up any points. So
Yeah, I agree. I just, for me, if I'm an Illinois fan, I'm going to bet, put a little taste on them with the hook, 14.5.
you got anything else for this weekend in college football, Sean, before we get to the big boys in the NFL?
Boy, I'm jacked up for that Missouri game. That's been on my mind. We don't have a football game to coach, so I got nothing to do Saturday morning. I'm going to lock in on some football this weekend. I got the bye, being number 1 seed myself. How do you do? So I'm excited to have the weekend just off.
Yeah.
Just nothing to do. I'm kind of looking at this South Florida, North Texas game, and I like South Florida. I think here we're getting 1.5. I kind of like that play. And who else was I looking at? Oh, the Oregon-Indiana game. Boy, what a game. I'm excited to watch that one, too. I think that one comes on 2:30 or 3 o'clock.
2:30.
I think I'd take Indiana and get the 7.5. Take it and get the hook, 7.5. I like it.
So we're going to be on opposite sides of this one because this is actually the game I had picked out that I wanted to talk about. And I'm going to be on Oregon here. But I wanted to wait, see if I could get a 7. And I actually see on DraftKings within the last hour, the line has dropped to -7. So I'm going to hope that's still there. I'm going to shoot over to Illinois tomorrow and hopefully get
I'll
that.
be rooting for that push for you and that win for me.
I would take that.
Yeah.
I just think that Indiana's been a great story, with this program they're building. But let's be real with what we've seen when they've gone on the road against the cream of the crop of college football. The Hoosiers made the playoffs last season, a large part because they had a very weak schedule. One time they faced a great opponent on the road in the regular season, they just got boat raced at Ohio State. It was a blowout from the start. And then they went on the road to Notre Dame in the playoff. Game was not competitive. Notre Dame easily won and covered. So just I'm a show me guy, living in Missouri, the Indiana's going to have to show me they can keep a big game like this close on the road.
You don't think Indiana's a little battle tested after last season? They're kind of ready for this test?
I think it helps, obviously, but their last game was at Iowa, who's a very mid team, and they had to survive that game where it was ugly. They didn't score much. I think the final was 20-15. So I just don't think they're going to be able to be explosive like they were against Illinois, for instance. And the Ducks are going to be up for this. This is number 3 against number 7. And Indiana's they're more battle tested, but they also are not sneaking up on anyone anymore. I
like that Mendoza kid coming out, running around. He's a player. I like him. I like him. I like his moxie, as they say.
He's got a lot of moxie. He's actually up there in the race for the Heisman as one of the favorites. But I like that Oregon's off a bye because I would have been worried about that letdown factor because that great game at Penn State, overtime win for them. But then they saw Penn State go to UCLA and completely, that was the epitome of the letdown factor, didn't show up.
Yeah.
And they get beat by UCLA, who's one of the worst teams in the country. So I just think Oregon's going to be ready to go here. Dan Lanning, I got a total man crush in this guy. They show a lot of his locker room speeches. He's a great leader of men.
Yeah,
we talk about leader of men on this show a lot, and I'm a big old fan of Dan Lanning. I know you.
I got to give my coach speeches to the team after the game, or
I saw that
in the huddle, or So I'm always looking up these coach speeches on Instagram or X, and he does have some speeches, man. What a leader of men.
Yes. So I just think they also. I know you like fading streaks. But this is the longest home winning streak in all college football at 18. Mizzou actually has the second longest home winning streak, food for thought, which is pretty great. But I don't think Indiana's got the chops here until they show me they can do it. So I'm going to be on Oregon. Hopefully I get that -7 tomorrow at DraftKings. I make my drive. Yeah, the Omelet Dude says that is certainly the next biggest game. That probably is the biggest game of the weekend. College Game Day is going to be there.
Yeah.
He also says just can't bet on anything from Indiana, not even Notre Dame this year. Yeah, Notre Dame. Starting the season with 2 losses, they're going to have to not only win out, but win out impressively. If they're
I like Indiana or Notre Dame this weekend. I think they do win this against North Carolina State, NC State. I mean, so I think this is 22.5. I might lay the number on this one. Small taste.
Yeah, we saw that a lot with Notre Dame, or actually with the Indiana last year. They knew they had this weak schedule, and they couldn't just beat teams. They had to beat the shit out of them. And I think Notre Dame's probably in that spot. Their schedule the rest of the way is not impressive. So then not only they have to win, they have to win with style points. So
Right.
I would not mind a bet on Notre Dame whatsoever on Saturday. Home against NC State. Yeah. I can totally see that.
Yeah.
Are you ready for some NFL talk, Mr. Sharp?
Yeah, let's get to it, baby.
All right, let's get to it. But first, I want to tell you guys about DraftKings and Missouri. Get ready. The wait is almost over. We're now less than 2 months away from DraftKings officially launching here in the state of Missouri. DraftKings Sportsbook is America's top-rated sportsbook, and it's coming soon to the Show Me State, and you can sign up today. You don't have to wait. So new Missouri customers can get $300 in bonus bets when we launch on December 1st. Download now and place a $5 bet when we go live. DraftKings Sportsbook brings everything you need to elevate your game day, including live in-game betting, lightning fast payouts, and endless ways to get in on the action, all right from your phone. And when we officially go live in Missouri, you'll be betting with the Sportsbook app trusted by millions, safe, secure, and as fast money withdrawals. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use that code on your screen, STL Sports, to grab $300 in bonus bets with just a $5 bet when we go live December 1st. That's code STL Sports in partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER, 21 plus, physically present in Missouri. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Excludes customers who redeem pre-launch sign-up offer. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. All right, Mr. Sharp, let's get into week 6 of the NFL. And Tim, says, finally we can gamble on the toilet. God, he is so right. From anywhere in this damn state of Missouri, you'll be able to bet on December 1st.
Hell yeah, Tim. Yeah, well, I can't wait to be able to sit on my couch. Number one, throw in some crazy parlay bets with some of these boost plays that I see for $15 to win $50,000. So I'm excited to play some of those type of scratchers. And also, man, just the convenience factor. I know me and you take the drive over to Illinois, mileage, this and that. And winter's coming. I want to sit at home in my toasty, get my slippers on and my little blankie on and bet under my blankies. That's what I want.
Oh, God, we're going to be living the dream in about a month and a half from now. It was a losing week for me last week in the NFL. The difference between a winning week and a losing week was that damn teaser as my best bet. I said before, Sean, several weeks ago, I don't like teasers. But you're right. I fell in love with them because I had some early success with them the first, couple weeks of the season. That was fool's gold. I am out on teasers, definitely for best bets, maybe altogether for betting. Because just you get, and then you can't complain for a bad beat. You move the line 7 points. It's not a bad beat. It was a bad read, right?
Yeah. You were part of the Arizona game, right?
Yes. But actually, I wasn't as pissed because Buffalo was the other part of my teaser. And they lost outright to New England.
Hey, division game, baby. Them dogs are barking last weekend. And normally I cash in on a weekend like this because I do like to bet me some dogs. But I took the weekend off, and I think I bet Thursday night. That was the Rams and 49ers, right?
Yeah, I don't know. First half under, we got snagged on the walk-off field goal for halftime. Yeah.
Tough one to go out on, and then it got busy. I didn't place any bets this weekend. But I did get to see some highlights, and I watched Monday night. What a run by Trevor Lawrence. What is Chris Jones doing there? Grabbing his crotch, not running after the play. I still like the Chiefs. I still think they're probably going to be in the division hunt. Chargers are coming back down to earth. But, I'm ready to get into this slate. I'm excited for this week. Like I said, I don't have a lot going on. I'm excited to watch football.
Yeah, let's get into it. Reminder, you can get all of our official bets for the NFL and all sports in the free Action Network app. You can track your own picks as well, which is probably the best part about it. You can follow other people too. Sean has the username Mr. Sharp 4499, up over $2,600 since starting to track your plays there a few months ago. So well done, Sean. Again, I've been tracking there since last November. So coming up on a year now, I'm up over 37 units. You can follow me on the Action Network app with the username Sontag. B Fishman in the chat says he's a big parlay guy.
Big lay guy. He's a big lay guy.
He's a lottery ticket guy.
I think, if you work all week and you want to throw $5 or $10 on a big lottery scratch, you got a better shot at hitting a big parlay than you do winning the damn lottery. Yeah. We can have another show about my conspiracy theory on the lottery anyway. But, scratch them off, B Fishman. Get you, I hope you win $150,000.
Scratch them off, Beef Fishman, but I would recommend doing a little exercise with yourself. Join the Action Network app. Track those parlays you put in, because you would be surprised how much money you probably lose on that over the course of time. And you really do need a big score a lot of time to make a profit on that. That's why these books promote these big parlay winners. Oh, this guy hit this 15-teamer and won 6 figures, because they know tens of or hundreds of thousands of people are going to be putting those bets in, and they're going to come out ahead on that. The books will over the course of time. So I just really recommend, if you're gambling at all, I don't care how often you gamble, track every play. Action Network is a really good way to do it. The Omelet Dude's already getting in the action. Cleveland plus 5.5 against Tomlin in a division game. We'll get to that one here in just a few games. Omelet Dude. We're going to go on. You can follow along with us if you go to DraftKings right now. We're just going to go down the board. We're going to start with Thursday Night Football, Mr. Sharp, with a divisional home dog. So again, if you're watching, give us your thoughts on the live chat on this game, all the games we will discuss. It's Eagles at Giants tomorrow night. These divisional home dogs are not cashing so far this season, just 2-7 against the spread through the first 5 weeks. And the Giants are a 7-point dog here. Total is 40.5. I'm actually going to get us started here, because I actually have a play in pocket for this one. I'm going to be stubborn here. I'm going to take the Giants getting the touchdown. I will die on this hill, Sean, that this divisional home dog stat, it's going to regress to the mean sooner than later. And I just don't view the Eagles as like, ooh, big bounce back game after losing to the Broncos. I just think they're not playing that well. And they're lucky they didn't lose a game until last week. Yeah. And the numbers, Rams had them beat. They were lucky in a lot of their games. The opening night of the season, if CeeDee Lamb can catch the ball, they lose an opening night to Dallas. So just Jalen Hurts has not been great in this spot, coming off a loss in his career. I think people would expect, the Eagles don't lose 2 games in a row. Jalen Hurts is just 10-10 straight up after a loss, and 7-13 against the spread. So just a half unit, small play for me. But I think I'm going to blind bet these divisional home dogs until we see this regression happen. I lose money, I lose it. But I'm on the Giants plus 7 at even money too, plus 100, which I enjoy. If you get the 7.5, take it. But Mr. Sharp, what say you on this game?
Yeah, that says me too. I agree. I think the Giants got a little juice with Dart. We talked about on the show last week. We thought somehow the Saints were going to pull that thing out, and they did. They win a crazy game. How the Saints, they're going to win one more game this year, maybe 2. But that so happened to be it. Jackson Dart was coming off a big win, letdown game. But I think coming back home, Giants fans are believing. They got Scattaboo, they got Dart. Everybody's believing in Big Blue right now. So I think the Thursday night, division game, I love the points here. This one's going to be in pocket for me too. I think it's going to be a 1-unit play. But I'm going to try to shop around and get 7.5. I want the hook. 100% I want the hook. Don't love it as much without 7.5. At 7, I would bet at a half unit, but with the hook, I'm gonna go full unit.
Yep. And obviously in Missouri, your options are limited. You got to get creative sometimes, where you kind of get what you get and you don't throw a fit, as I tell my daughter many times. At even money plus 100, I was good with it. The Godson is on Jalen Hurts touchdown. We love it. Tush push. Yeah, anytime touchdowns at minus 140. I was on him to score at that same exact price in the Tampa game and lost that bet. So, which means I'll probably hit it here. So I might have to just say that he's due. Not a taking a spread, but with lean Giants on the 7.5. And the Omelet Dude says Super Bowl hangover. You usually have that reserved for the loser of the Super Bowl, which we're kind of seeing that with Kansas City so far this season. But the Eagles, you can just tell. Saquon Barkley, perfect example. I know you love the under on his rushing yards. Sean, they don't have the juice right now. They're probably going to find it at some point, but they are just totally off right now. You got pissed off receivers. They're not getting the ball. It's just not. I don't think that. Basically, what this is saying, if this game was in Philly, the spread would be Eagles minus 13, because it's a 3 points for home field. It'd be 10 on a neutral field, 13. I would not be laying minus 13 with the Eagles at home, which makes me think the right bet is Giants plus 7 at MetLife.
Yeah, that's the only way you can bet this. I don't think you can take the Eagles laying 7.5.
We got your favorite thing coming up next, Sean, and that's another international game on Sunday morning. with the Broncos at the Jets. Once again, we're at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in London. The Broncos a 7.5-point favorite. The total is 43.5. So, Mr. Sharp, what do you think here?
I just can't get away from these damn Jets. I had them on my pick 7 last week, and they hung around with Dallas a little bit, but it wasn't even as close as the final score. Denver got a much needed win. They looked a little bit more like Denver. This is a tough one. I don't like these overseas games. It's pretty hard to handicap here. I would just stay away. Maybe take the first half under. It's at what, 21.5? This first half under probably. Is that what you got? I don't have DraftKings pulled up, but that's how I would look. Maybe the first half under, but I don't like anything overseas really on these games. I just don't like to bet them normally. So it's a stay away game for me. You would think that Denver would roll them, but it's probably going to be a little bit different since it's overseas. It's tough for me. I can't figure these games out.
Yeah, first half total set at 22.5 on DraftKings, but again, really no difference between 22.5 and 21.5. You know,
23 is going to be here or 21, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it's a lean on the Broncos for me. I know we actually talked about this a few weeks ago before the Ireland game, that favorites have dominated historically in these international games, and you made a great point that it might be because there's been a lot of bad teams in these overseas games. Like the Jaguars in years past, the Rams when they were here in St. Louis, going over there, getting their ass kicked every year.
Yeah.
So that's a great point. But we have another bad team here in the Jets on Sunday. And so, like the numbers, the updated numbers, 52 international games. Favorites are 33-19 against the spread. So I like that for the Broncos. I trust Sean Payton here. He's made this trip twice as a head coach. His teams are 2-0, both straight up and against the spread. And he's covered the spread by 12 points per game. So he knows how to handle this trip. But 7.5, I don't like that. I'd probably be looking at a teaser potentially, bringing Denver down to -1.5. But fuck that. I've been proven, my point's been proven on teasers the last 2 weeks. Yeah. Why they're a bad idea, because you got, when you have 2 games you're betting on, there's a very good chance that something goes wrong in one of them.
Yeah, stay away from those teasers long term. Yeah, I mean, even last weekend, the Browns blow that game. They probably should have covered. Minnesota scores late to cover that thing. I think it was 4. Yeah, it ended up as 4-point score. And, man, just, the Browns blowing that one. But, yeah, this is tough for me. I'm out on this game. A stay away game.
Next game, Cowboys at Panthers. Cowboys a 3-point road favorite. Your total is 49.5. I'll let you get us started here on this one, Mr. Sharp.
I like the Panthers getting 3 here. That's what you got at DraftKings, getting 3?
Correct.
I think it started at 1.5, maybe 2. But I like Carolina. I like what I've seen from Carolina this year. They're a young team. They're growing together. I think they're tough at home. Dallas has a heck of an offense, but I think Carolina will be able to run the ball here, move the ball a little bit, and I like Carolina +3.
If Chuba Hubbard is out, Rico Dowdle, who just destroyed the Dolphins last week. This is a revenge game for him. He's a 1,000-yard rusher when he was in Dallas. It's not like this guy's a bum backup. I picked him up in fantasy, which is why he's top of mind for me. That worked out well last week. Let's see. The Gotson says for the Broncos, a no straight bet on this one. Maybe throw a Broncos money line and something. You can, but like I said, you probably lost the last couple of weeks if you're taking 7-point favorites. Carolina, the B. Fishman, Carolina Dowdle, anytime touchdown. If he starts, love that play. That's a plus money. Godson's rocking. Panthers +3 here. And B. Fishman says cash it on Dowdle. I actually have another prop play picked out for this game. I'm going to keep fading the Cowboys secondary. And it was 2 weeks ago, Sean, you helped me cash on Romeo Dobbs, score a touchdown against Cowboys. I cashed on Garrett Wilson in garbage time to score last week. That was a big plus money price for me. This week, I'm going Ted McMillan. He's been really good so far this season. He's on pace for about 1,200 receiving yards as a rookie, but he hasn't scored yet. So he's due. It's the due factor. He's also getting about 9 targets per game. I saw he's had 5 targets so far in the red zone. So I think he's going to break through here. And we're getting plus 140 on DraftKings for him to score a touchdown. That's the same price Garrett Wilson was last week. I think you have to fade this Dallas secondary until further notice. And a great way to do it is by getting big plus money in these receivers, especially kind of the main red zone targets on these teams to
Yeah.
score. And so I feel really good about going 3 for 3 here with Dobbs and then Wilson and now Ted McMillan here. I think it's a really good play for this game.
Yeah, the Dallas struggles in the secondary, so I think you're going to see one of these receivers is going to score for sure. This thing's going to get a little loose. That's how the Cowboys play, and you can maybe do a little parlay there with Dowdle and McMillan anytime touchdown scorers.
Yeah, Dowdle's priced at plus 105 to score. So is Hubbard. So I think there's still uncertainty. From what I read, it sounds like Hubbard's probably going to sit another week. Another kind of
so in the prop market, you would want to bet it now before the injury report comes out, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I would agree with that. Hunter Renfrow, I think, could be sneaky at plus 245. They look to him a lot. He's kind of the Adam Thielen. Of course, he's a white guy, of course, and that's why you think of him with the comparison. But on third down, if they're in a 3rd and goal situation from the 7 or 8 yard line, they're looking for Hunter Renfrow. I think he had 2 touchdowns in a game earlier this season. Just find a way to fade that Dallas secondary. I think kind of Dallas can be a tough team. They can be kind of Jekyll and Hyde in terms of their performances. So this is probably my favorite game to target for props this week.
The Cowboys are one catch away from being, 3-2 and 1 overtime game away. Really, this Dallas team's played pretty well this year. Jerry Jones maybe needs a little credit.
Margins are thin in the NFL, no doubt about it. A 17-game sample size. It is not always fair, what your record is as you go along. Next game is the Patriots at the Saints. The Saints are a 3.5-point home dog here, and the total is 45.5. I was brave. I did bet the Saints last week. That came through for me. It just felt like that was the spot for them to get their first win. I don't see it here. Lean Patriots at least. I might bet it. I wanted to get your opinion. I know this could be like a letdown spot after they beat the Bills on Sunday night, but Mike Vrabel, I trust him. And I don't really view that as a win that just came out of nowhere where they just come crashing down. I think this is a team on the ascend. Like Drake May looks really good. I fully expect this team to be in the playoff mix all season long. If you look at the AFC standings, there are some bad teams in this conference. Right now, the Patriots are all alone in a playoff spot, a game ahead of the other teams. So I think they get it done here and win. And if you think they're going to do that, minus 3.5, I'm good with that. If they win by 3, oh well. But I just think Vrabel and this team, they are on the ascend, no doubt about it. What do you think?
Totally agree. And the Saints, that was what it was. We saw that one coming a mile away. Jackson Dart was just right for the picking. But I do agree. I think New England's on the upswing. We talked about it in our preview show. I like New England. I know Tito didn't like Mike Vrabel very much, and I think he's a heck of a coach, though. So I like New England. I like it a lot more at 3. I don't like it at the hook. These are key numbers for me. Going to wait around and see if we can get that down to 3 for me personally. So it's a lean, but if we can get it to 3, I might put a half a unit on this myself. I just think Drake May is a player. He's young. He's figuring out this team, and Vrabel's not going to have a letdown game going into New Orleans. I'm with you.
Love that point. It's Wednesday. You don't have to get excited and bet now. If you're not getting the right number that you're looking for, wait and see. Because half point here, half point there, that makes a difference. Big difference over the long haul. Again, if you guys got thoughts in these games, throw them in the chat. Especially I love hearing different angles for prop plays too. That there's so much to consider with all these different angles. So you got any thoughts? Throw them in the chat. The next game is the Cardinals at the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts a 7-point favorite here. Total's 46.5. So what are you doing here with Daniel Jones, Sean? You were right on the money that this guy was going to be a good quarterback this season for Indy.
I don't know how I keep getting so lucky, but I like Daniel Jones. I know he's a pretty good player. I thought New York just kind of let him down. I wasn't expecting this kind of a season. I mean, nobody could have seen this coming.
Right.
This is one of these games, though. I think Arizona somehow, some way stays in this game. I would take Arizona with the 7 here. Everybody's high on the Colts, as they should be. But, Arizona right there, they should have won that game. Let's be honest. You got to run the ball in. You got to know where you're at on the field. I saw the coach got fined today $100,000 for chewing out his player, but I disagree with that. He should have been chewed out. You're a dang professional and you're fumbling the ball here before you go in to run, win the game. That was a ceiling touchdown. Man. But I think this is a game Murray can run around, keep it close. I would take the points, but the Colts are very tough at home. They're tough inside that dome, but I just think this is a Murray kind of game for me. He makes some magic happen. He keeps this game close enough. I would take the points.
Yeah, first on the fine for the head coach, I think it had more to do with the fact that he struck him pretty hard, physically. And I
Yeah.
think the Cardinals are probably just getting out in front of that. They're like, hey, this is not acceptable. But yeah, I think that kid, DeMercado, he's already a third string or fourth string running back. He knew that he fucked up and just it was bad all around. It swung money.
Survivor pools were
Yeah.
out. I mean,
I'm gonna send DeMercado an invoice for my survivor pool entry and I think I had 3 units involved with the Cardinals winning last week. It's a small disagree for me, just to lean on the Colts here. There's just a big time money on them right now. They're getting 58% of the bets. The Colts are 59% of the bets. The Colts are, but 84% of the money. I thought last week was the spot that the Colts might have a little letdown with the Raiders coming to town, and they just blew them off the field.
Yeah.
So I still I'm not fully buying into the Colts just because the schedule has not really been that difficult. I don't like the spot for the Cardinals. They've gotten their hearts broken 3 weeks in a row. They've lost all 3 games by 3 points or less. And I think a lot of people might think, and you might be thinking, it's oh, that means they're due to bust through here. But just going on the road here, especially the way they lost that game last week, Kyler Murray is also banged up. He didn't practice today because of a foot injury.
Saw that.
So it sounds like he's truly questionable, where even if he does play, he's going to be not as effective with his legs as he would be otherwise. Again, this 7 -7 is becoming maybe my least favorite spread with the favorite, because you think, oh, they'll just win, throw them in a money line parlay or whatever. But we saw last week with the Cardinals favored by about 7, how that worked out. So just to lean on the Colts, I think it just might be time that this might be a special year for them. I don't know. The division is there for the taking for sure.
It is. We'll just see what Murray looks like. We'll see that final injury report. If he's all systems go, I like Arizona. This is just Arizona. Arizona's kind of like the Dallas Cowboys, up and down, up and down. I feel like they're going to show up. But if Murray's hurt, no way we're betting it. Or, he's limited. I'd imagine he'll be ready to go, though. It's Kyler Murray,
Yeah. Gatson says can't bet this game, could swing crazy either way. Yeah, it's definitely not my favorite game on the board for sure. I do have a play picked out for the next game with the Browns at the Steelers. 5.5 point spread here. Pittsburgh, your favorite. Totals 37.5. I believe it was the omelet dude saying earlier. Yeah, Cleveland plus 5.5 versus Tomlin in a division game. The play I've picked out as a prop. I'm betting Quinshawn Judkins anytime touchdown scorer at even money plus 100. And really just the reason for this, I think with Dylan Gabriel in there now, I think it's pretty clear how the Browns want to play. They want that defense to be tough, try and keep it close, and they want Gabriel to be a game manager and just play smart football. And that means lean on the ground game. And Judkins, man, he is that dude. He looks like he's the real deal, averaging over 20 carries over his last 3 games since they really just unleashed him as the starting running back. He scored in 2 of those 3 games, didn't score last week, so I think he's due. And at even money plus 100, I think that's a good price. I'm going to take him to Judkins to score a touchdown. What do you think on that one, Sean? Do you have a thought on this game on the side?
He's carrying 4.8 average on a carry. So, yeah, he's a real deal. He looks good. Stefanski can always run the ball. They got rid of Flacco, so it's going to be Gabriel, and then I'm sure Sanders is going to be the backup. That'll be the big talking noise going around. I don't know what that guy's doing, not answering questions. And, come on, man. Be a pro. The number here is tough. I kind of agree. I kind of like Cleveland getting the 5.5 in the division game. We'll see where it ends up come Friday or Saturday. But I think the Steelers probably win this thing outright unless Tomlin tries to throw it away like he did in Ireland. I don't know what he was doing there in that game.
God.
That was wild stuff. Should have kicked a field goal. Should have, not went for it on the fourth down that he did go for it. It was wild, wild stuff, man. But they win, and right now, Aaron Rodgers is looking like the favorite to win that division with Burrow out. You got Gabriel's the starter, and then now you got Joe Flacco as the starter. So I think Pittsburgh's looking pretty good to win the division this year. But I would take the 5.5 small lean.
Yeah, and Lamar too, obviously with the Ravens.
Lamar's out. Yeah,
they're digging an awfully big hole here. It looks like they'll probably lose again this week. More than likely, we'll get to the game here in just a second. Did see a stat to support the Cleveland angle. I feel like Mike Tomlin's at his best when he's like a really narrow favorite or a dog. And the stat bore that out. I saw that today as a favorite of 4 points or more, like Tomlin is here. Over the last 8 seasons, his record against the spread is 12, 26, and 1. That is the least profitable coach in the NFL during that time.
Oh, my.
So that narrative is true. When the Steelers are a bigger favorite, it's not a good Tomlin spot. So I definitely do not mind a play on the Browns here. But at the same time, I saw a stat that the Steelers are really, really good off a bye. And they're off a bye here. And Cleveland is coming back from England, and they have to go on the road. That seems like a really tough spot.
It is. It's a division game, though. And the only way I'm taking is Cleveland. And I just think Tomlin's rolling the dice too many times here. And I think Pittsburgh wins a close one. This game is always ugly. It's AFC North. It's just kind of how these teams play each other. So until I see something else, I'm going to take the dog and the number.
And it got tons with me. Free touchdown bet on Judkins.
Sounds like we got a Judkins. Oh, who we got? Flacco starting for Cincy.
Starting for Cincy. Yeah, we'll get to that game here in just a little bit. But yeah, Judkins, Ted McMillan. Who else did I say? I think Dowdle could be a good one. I think I got a couple others here.
We got to throw. We got to get like 10 of them together and throw $2 on them once DraftKings comes live in Missouri, and we can have a little fun on the show with the viewers, and let's all try to cash a big parlay.
Hell yeah, brother! I love that idea. Fascinated by this next game. I think it could be one of the best games of the week. The Seahawks at the Jaguars, and this is pretty much a coin flip. The Jags are a 1.5 point favorite. Total's 47.5. I feel like this could be a Mr. Sharp special potentially, or are you struggling with this one, Sean, of what to do here?
I like Jacksonville. I think they got something brewing down there at home. I know Seattle's defense is tough, but there's something going on with Duval. I mean, this guy's got them going. They hung around with Kansas City and made a comeback and won that game, and it looks like there's a lot of money on Seattle already, but I don't have the professional numbers. But I like Duval at home getting one here, or -1. Sorry.
I love you. Just call him Duval. That's awesome.
Yeah.
You are right. It's public and big money still on the Seahawks right now. 73% of the bets on Seattle, 67% of the money on Seattle.
I like going against that for sure.
I know.
I'll be on the other side of it.
It's got me nervous. I would love to bet this game because I think it's gonna be a great game. It's a lean on Seattle just because their road record is crazy. The last 2 years, they're 9-1 straight up on the road. Yeah. I had no idea about that till I saw that today. And just credit Jacksonville, the huge win against Kansas City. This turnover thing, though, it's got to regress at some point. They forced 14 turnovers this season, by far the most in the NFL. And the biggest play of that game on Monday was the pick six that Mahomes threw, because that's a 14-point swing right there, a throw into the end zone. As that play was developing, I'm like, oh, that's a touchdown. I was going up against Mahomes in fantasy, and I'm like, oh, that's a touchdown. All of a sudden, this linebacker comes from out of nowhere and grabs it, takes it the other way. I mean, that changes the entire game. That's a 14-point swing.
Even Mahomes gave him a little golf clap.
Yeah, I missed that. So I do think Jacksonville's pretty good. I just think this is like a sell high spot and a buy low spot on the Seahawks. They got bakered last week. The Seahawks did, because Baker just went in there and said, "I'm not losing this game." Unbelievable. That was your best
chop for Baker, baby.
It was unreal. I know that was your best bet with Seahawks. I saw a lot of people I respect were also on the Seahawks. Baker Mayfield don't care. This
Yeah.
dude is unreal. And we'll be talking about him here in just a second as well. Godson says, Duval.
That's a pretty good impersonation.
Got to keep working on that. Let's see. What's the next game on the board? Chargers at Dolphins. Chargers 4.5-point road favorite. Total is 44.5. This play's already in pocket for me. I'm on the Chargers.
Yeah.
-4. I would take it up to 5.5. This just feels like a total Jim Harbaugh rah-rah spot. They really need this one.
Yeah.
And they're going to feast against this defense. And it feels like a flat spot for Miami. Looked like they were going to beat the Panthers. They let it slip away. Dolphins are 1-4. I think they know this season's going nowhere.
Tyreek Hill's out now for the year.
Yeah. And just we've seen it with Mike McDaniel. When they play, even when Miami's been good, they go up against good teams, it usually does not go well.
Yeah.
Like especially with seeing in those cold weather games going towards the playoffs. But the numbers say against teams above 500, like the Chargers are, McDaniel is 35% against the spread as a head coach. He's 39% against the number overall as a dog. So this is a bet for me. I'm on the Chargers -4. Again, I take it up to 5.5.
I love this play myself. Might be in best bets later on. We'll have to, watch and see. But I like the Chargers here. Bounce back game, must win game. I think they get back to, they got some injuries at the running back position, but I don't think it's going to matter against this Miami, defense. I think the Chargers is a smash mouth spot for them here.
Love to hear that. All right. Rams and Ravens.
The whole narrative, the West Coast going to the East Coast.
That's right.
Get rid of it.
I ain't worried about that. That might actually help us if people think that's true.
Yeah.
Boy, the Baltimore Ravens are a 7.5-point home underdog against the Rams. It's just crazy how this has turned on them. You saw what they looked like last week without Lamar. Totals 44.5 in this game. Rams in a big bounce back spot here, losing to the Niners, where that kind of set the tone for last week. Not many people expected that for the Niners to win outright with how beat up they were. So what do we do here? I feel like this is a tough one, Shawn.
This is a stay away game for me. That defense for Baltimore is atrocious. So maybe you look at some anytime scorers here from the receiver group. I could see Devontae Adams scoring, maybe Puka. But I don't love the number just because the Rams are on the road. Maybe Harbaugh somehow gets these guys riled up. But without Lamar, it seems like this season's falling apart for Baltimore. So they'd be a fade for me. But I stay away from the number kind of game. But I'd look into some anytime scorers for the Rams. I don't know about Baltimore's offense without Lamar. Boy, it's going to be tough for Derrick Henry to get going. Teams are going to stack the box. Lamar makes the whole team, so the whole offense, especially. So I don't know. We'll see where this thing ends up. Maybe bet the Rams, but I don't love to lay that much on the road.
Yeah, I'm with you. Godson going back to the Chargers game. He says it's his favorite play of the week. Herbo get back on the horse here. So yeah, I think we're going to be loading up on the Chargers here. Also feels bad for the Ravens. What a nightmare season. I do Rams offense props. We'll be rooting for the Ravens to get it together on offense. What dude says depends on if Lamar is in or not. Take the over if he is. It sounds like he didn't practice today. It sounds almost certain he's not going to play. But and that's one reason DraftKings does not have many props listed yet for this game with the uncertainty. But that's exactly where my mind went with this game because I don't want to lay 7.5 on the road with the Rams, but like, how do you bet on Baltimore, with this defense just so horrific and no Lamar? So I actually, the receivers, absolutely. I actually think this is going to be a Kyren game just because I think this is going to be most likely a positive game script for the Rams where they can just kind of lean on him. And I saw Blake Corum, he'd been getting more work, but he got put in the doghouse early last week. He had a fumble early, only had one touch in the game. So I just think Kyren is going to get the ball a ton here. I'm sure his anytime touchdown odds when they get posted are going to be crazy high. So you might want to, if you do that, you probably have to use it as a parlay piece. But I also saw he had 8 receptions last week. So like whether it's rushing yards, total yards, maybe a receptions prop, I think Kyren is going to be a good player to target here. So Again, follow me in the Free Action Network app. Username eSontag. I'm nearly certain I'm going to have a play on Kyron in this game, but obviously we don't have the props listed yet. But I just think that makes the most sense. Where I could see him getting 20 to 25 carries
Yeah,
in this game where they're up and they're kind of grinding the clock in the second.
That's how McVay plays. He doesn't try to blow you out. He's grinding the clock, possession kind of coach.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. The next game on the board is an ugly one. Tennessee at Vegas. Raiders, a 3.5 point home favorite. Total is 41.5. Speaking of props, this is a total smash spot for Ashton Genty here. The Titans, they have given up 10 rushing touchdowns in the first 5 games. It would have been 11 if fucking DeMercado would hang on to the damn ball when he's going across the goal line and knocking me out of Survivor. But Genty, he's gotten on track the last 2 weeks. It didn't look good first few weeks, but the last 2 weeks, 5.9 yards per carry.
He's back to his old college stance before he gets the ball.
It looks good. I like that a lot. And I look at it this way. The Raiders got handily beaten 3 times this season. In those 3 games, Genty did not score. The other 2 games that had a more positive game script, he scored 4 touchdowns. So, and this is almost certainly going to be a positive game script. I don't think the Titans are going to be blowing anyone out this season, most likely. So it does have a little bit of juice. I was actually surprised it wasn't higher. Genty anytime touchdown scorer is at -150. I think I'm okay with that as a standalone. If you want to get yourself a coupon, combine that with something else, get it down closer to even money, like totally get that. I think at -150 though, I'm okay with that as a standalone and not getting cute because this burned me last week. I had David Montgomery anytime touchdown scorer. I think it was at -180 when I got it. They had this whole narrative about he was heading back home to Cincinnati. His sister's like never seen him play live or something, and like she was at the game.
Yeah.
He was going to score. He did score. He also threw a touchdown pass in that game. My coupon that I took was Cardinals money line.
Oh,
To bring it down to I think it was -110.
oh
And
my
and I
god.
lose.
Oh my god.
So Genty -150 as a standalone. I'm good with that. So what do you think on that? And do you have something else in this game?
Yeah, that's why sometimes in the baseball season you see me lay some juice because sometimes throwing that coupon in doesn't help, and it's a
Yep.
loss. And
Burned.
I'd rather just lay the odds. This is a pitiful game. I kind of like the over here. I think both teams will kind of get loose, so I would take the small lean on the over. But pitiful game. I'm not going to watch much of this game.
Next one should be interesting. Niners at Buccaneers. 3-point spread here with the Bucks as the favorite. Total's 47.5. Baker is your boy, Sean.
Yeah.
Are you going to be on him again this week?
Boy, this is a tough game to handicap. San Francisco, they just won't go away. It doesn't matter who's out there. Mac Jones looking pretty good as a starter, man. I'm telling you, I don't know. Purdy's in a little trouble.
Yeah.
But they paid him a lot of money, so I'm sure Purdy's going to be the guy when he's healthy. But, Robert Sala's really brought in that defense back for the Niners. I mean, they're 6th in the league in points given up. But it's Baker Mayfield, right? And how can you bet against Baker right now? You can't. So just for fun, I would do a little quarter unit on Baker, a little cha-cha-cha. If you haven't seen that, just Google Baker cha-cha-cha. What a great clip that is. But I would take Baker, but this is a tough game. I kind of like the first half under in this game. I think both teams kind of like to start out slow, and first half under might be a play here too.
Yeah, full game totals 47.5. Does seem a little high on the surface. Yeah, I like where you're thinking there. But yeah, I wouldn't want full game under because then it's Baker time late. And you'll see these points rack up. Yeah, I like that angle there. I think you texted me on Sunday, like, is Baker just an auto bet right now? And I think what I have just decided, I'm instituting a rule with myself until further notice. If a game involving Baker Mayfield, the spread's within a field goal, I'm betting on Baker Mayfield. So I put it in pocket today, just a half unit. I'm on the Bucks -3. I got it at even money, which is very nice.
Yeah.
This dude's incredible.
I mean, listen, you don't have a team to root for, but you can root for Baker. I mean, the guy's incredible.
I mean, I'm so happy to be wrong about him because I thought he was going to be a fantasy bust this season. I was not high on Tampa, but he has probably been the most fun part about watching the NFL this season for me because what we love about at least what I love about the NFL so much is the drama. It's like the greatest TV show going, and
Yeah.
this dude is delivering every single week. It's incredible. And just like I don't want to go against that. I want to get on this train instead of just like I admitted defeat a couple weeks ago where I'm like, okay, he's not a bust, but I don't want to just, I want to get on that train. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna be betting the Bucks here, -3, even money. I think it's a great price.
Back home, I like it. Yeah, I mean, personally, don't love the. I wish it was a 2.5. I don't like that field goal, but I definitely love just betting on Baker right now. It's fun, man. He's a warrior. He is a warrior, and I didn't end up betting Seattle. I like that a lot. And then the closer it got, like I said, I was busy. I didn't make any bets last weekend, but man, Baker Mayfield, just what a dog, dude. What a dog. Like he said, they're built different.
Built different. Yeah. If you look up dog in the dictionary, like he's that guy. Like I think he like just totally personifies what that means. Where he's not, he's not going to be set
What
any records, but he just
Johnny
wins.
Football should have been this. This is what Johnny Football
Yes.
should have been. This
Oh,
just a dog.
that's a great call there. Fascinated by this next game. I mean, it's the biggest spread of the week, but I don't really know what to do here with the Packers, a 2-touchdown favorite against Joe Flacco and the Cincinnati Bengals with a 44.5 total as Joe Flacco looks to beat the Packers for the second time this season. So what are you doing with your ball club here, Shawn?
Well, Packers are back at home. They're going to be juiced up. They had the bye week. I think guys are going to get healthy. Christian Watson might play this week. We'll see, but I doubt it. LaFleur likes to play things, a little bit more careful than that. Keep everybody rested. This bull crap. But yeah, when you break this down, Cincinnati doesn't score very much. Cincinnati can't stop anybody. I think Flacco is going to have some, he's going to throw the ball around. And that's, I think, why they traded for him is because he lets it fly, right? Flacco's not scared to stand in the pocket, take the hits, throw the ball down the field. So Chase and Higgins, they'll start eating a little bit. But I just think the Packers, this is a smash mouth spot. I like the Packers, even at the high number here. The Bengals are one of the worst teams in football this year without Burrow. It was already going to be sketchy with that defense. So I think Green Bay takes care of business, and I'd lay the points.
Would you actually bet this, a number this high at 14?
I would not bet it yet. At 13.5, I'd bet it.
All right, yeah, I feel you on that. Flacco owns Green Bay, says B. Fishman.
Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, I mean, if he beats us again, I don't know. I quit, I guess. I'm just going to quit gambling.
Stay away from me. I can't. I can't lay 14. It's just like Flacco, it's, he's not what he used to be, obviously, but just this is new life for the Bengals. Like, I think it's human nature. You have new energy. I'm not saying they're like rah, motivated. Let's go beat Green Bay.
You know how many yards the Bengals rush for 57 yards a game? 57 yards a game.
Yeah.
If you can't run the ball, you can't do anything, and Joe Burrow opens up those running lanes because everyone has to play the pass against this guy. I don't know, man. I don't
Notice
see.
Dobbs has scored touchdown is the exact same price it was when I cashed in the Cowboys game, plus 195. What do you think?
I like that, yeah. I think Golden actually scores this week. Golden finds the end zone.
Plus 185 for him.
Yeah.
Has he scored yet?
I don't believe so, no. And coming off the bye week, I think the rookie's going to get some more reps. I like him to score this week. No, he hasn't scored a touchdown yet. Dobbs has 4, Kraft has 2, Reed had 1, but now he's out for the year.
Josh Jacobs minus 280 to score a touchdown. That's about as high as you will see in a game.
He probably won't score.
There's no option on that. It's just a yes. So you can't bet the no, but it might be worth a sprinkle on the no if you could find that somewhere.
Give him the belt. Give who the belt?
Like I'm guessing Flacco for the champion of Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Get out of here. No.
How about this?
We're just fine. We're just fine.
Sunday Night Football, like every week, I feel like it's the greatest matchup, and you're going to get a great game. It is Lions at Chiefs. Like, what a freaking matchup on paper. It's this 2.5 point line, John. Mahomes, a 2.5 point favorite. Total ballooned up a few points at 52.5. For me, like, this is similar to the Lions-Ravens game on Monday night a few weeks ago when Lamar was healthy. I didn't overthink it. I just bet the over, cash without much of a sweat. I'm on it again here. This is already in pocket for me. I checked the weather. It looks good, so I'm not worried about the Lions outdoors in a sloppy game. And this Detroit secondary is all beat up right now, and this is what made it a play for me. Mahomes is going to eat in this game, and he's going to have to keep up. And just the Chiefs passing attack, I was thinking like, maybe it was just like against the Ravens to like, okay, like maybe they're still not back. It looked way better too against Jacksonville. So just the last 2 weeks, their passing attack, it looks back. So if the Chiefs and Jaguars can combine for 59 points, I think the Chiefs and Lions can too. It just, to me, seeing how badly beat up the Lions secondary is, I think this is a shootout written all over it. So this is a bet for me over 52.5.
I like Mahomes here, and I like laying the 2.5. I think Kansas City. This is another game they got to win. This game they can't keep falling below 500. And I think Kansas City's defense actually matches up well against this offense. Spags likes to play press coverage, get after the quarterback outdoors, and they can also shut down the run pretty well with Chris Jones up the middle. So I feel like this is kind of going to be a similar game script that the Lions saw week 1 against Green Bay. The defense getting after you a little bit, making you get the ball out quick. So that'll be it. That'll be what comes down to the game. Can the Lions control the running game? Because when they get that running game going, then it opens up these play action shots to Williams and St. Brown's just incredible. But I think Mahomes somehow, some way gets this thing done at home. I was hoping he'd be getting 1.5 at home, but he's not. We're laying 2.5. But give me Mahomes. I think they win this game. I think it's a close game, but I do think they pull it out. With the Lions' defensive struggles in the secondary, Mahomes is going to eat. You're right. He's going to eat. They need to start running the ball a little bit better, and Pacheco looked better last game. So I think they'll keep leaning on the running game, and Mahomes will have some shots down the field, easy throws with some play action passes.
Yeah, I agree with that. But my concern really with the over was more with the Lions. Like, is Spags going to shut them down the way he shut down Lamar? And that's I'm just wondering if that game plan, because you would think like, oh, are the Chiefs going to score enough to keep up? But I'm worried about the other way around. And so, yeah, that's my concern. If you could see a 27-13 game like you saw with the Packers and the Lions, I think that's about what it was, 27-13
Yeah.
in week 1. But just Sunday Night Football, I just feel like NBC is just like, start on NBC and it's just like doing drugs like Sunday night. It's like it's the greatest natural high because it seems like these games are going down the wire every single week.
Yeah. They love the entertainment value for sure. You're getting them
that.
advertising dollars up.
We had another great game Sunday Night Football last week with the Bills and the Patriots going down in the end, and the Bills are on Monday Night Football this week. Doubleheader for Monday night.
I don't like the doubleheader on Monday night. Give me one game.
I would like it if it was at 6 o'clock and 9 o'clock, but 6:15 and 7:15, get the hell out of here. Like, we're domesticated dads. Like, basically, I can't start my night until 8:30, 8:45.
ESPN, aren't they partnership together?
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing.
What are they doing? Competing against each other? What the fuck's going on here?
I don't know, but these are two pretty good matchups. The first one's with the Bills at the Falcons. Bills a 4.5-point road favorite coming off that loss to New England. I total 49.5. So, Mr. Sharp, what do you think here?
I kind of like the Bills in a bounce back spot here. I think Josh Allen's going to be pissed off, but it's tough to go down in Atlanta. That crowd's going to be fired up. That's a tough game, and we're at Wednesday. I can't handicap a game on Monday yet. It's so early for me. It's so early. It is a high total. I don't know if Michael Penix Jr. can keep up with Josh Allen to get that over. So that's kind of high. I don't know. But I like Buffalo here in a bounce back game. I'm sure there's some great stats after Allen loses a game. He comes back and gets the wins. I'm positive of that, and I don't even need to look it up.
I got you, brother. And it's also, I agree with you on the Bills. I disagree that Atlanta is actually not a tough place to go when you look at it. So I'll give you these two stats that I have. The Bills have really, we talked about it last week. I don't know what the schedule was they were handed, but they got Dolphins, Saints, and Patriots back to back to back at home. They were just dicking around all three of those games, and they finally got burned on Sunday night against the Patriots. I think getting on the road is probably the best thing for them right
Yeah.
now. And the data to support that. So when the Bills go on the road after a loss with Josh Allen at quarterback, they are 13-3 straight up. They're winning those games by an average of 10 points per game. So they're winning with margin.
Yeah.
And I referenced Atlanta, not a tough place to go. Raheem Morris at home as a head coach, 13-25 against the spread,
Oof.
including 4-16 against the spread as a home dog, like he is here. So 4-16 against the spread as a home dog for Raheem Morris. That's the worst record of any head coach in the NFL over the last 22 years.
Yeah.
So lean Buffalo -4.5. May bet it. Want to see how the week goes.
Yeah. I figured Allen, after a loss like that, comes back and gets his. That's the kind of guy he is. So this one's probably going to be in pocket for me.
Yeah, and that's another reason I wanted to mention it is that is true with Allen, but it was not true with Jalen Hurts. Back when we were talking about the Eagles game, he doesn't bounce back after a loss, and numbers prove that. So
he gets a little tighter in the butthole area.
I think he may. It hurts.
Yeah. Ooh, ding ding. Sure. Good job, Dad.
Around the horn point. And then we have the rematch from last year with the Bears at the Commanders. That was the Jaden Daniels Hail Mary against the Bears, where their season just like fell off a cliff after that, and the Commanders really kind of ascended. And so this game is back in Washington. Commanders a 4.5-point favorite. Total is 49.5. Lean Washington for me. I don't trust Caleb Williams on the road against a quality opponent.
Yeah.
Commanders super impressive last week on the road at the Chargers. I'm trying not to overreact to that, but Jaden Daniels was rusty in that game, and they still won easily.
Yeah.
So I expect him to be more effective this week. And I know we've talked about this, Shawn, with stats, like how much they matter, because passing yards and garbage time can be misleading. I do agree with that, but I think rushing yards are kind of a more predictive stat, because usually when you're looking at rushing yards, that is in like a normal game script, right? Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
So the Bears, they're giving up 6.2 yards per carry this season. By far the worst mark in the NFL. Commanders are the number one rushing team in the NFL in both yardage and yards per carry.
Yeah.
So Bill got going last week for the Commanders. I love me some Bill. And Jane Daniels is going to be even more healthy this week. I just don't think the Bears are going to be able to stop Washington on the ground. So definitely at least a lean on Commanders -4.5.
Yeah, I totally agree. The only thing that throws me off a little bit is, do we want to take both favorites on Monday night and lay both points? Because probably one's coming home, probably the other's not. Which one's it going to be? But that Bears defense is suspect too. They're giving up 29 points a game. So we talked about last week. I thought Daniels would come out rusty in the first half. He did, but he figured it out. He's a superstar player. Back at home, I tend to agree here. I like Washington -4.5, and I think this weekend's there's gonna be more chalk than people think. It's kind of why I like Green Bay, and I like both of these Monday night games, and I like Kansas City a little more chalk than I normally like. But I think the public's gonna kind of overplay the number this week. And I think we got to go against the public here and take some chalk.
It's another reason I wish these games were at 6 and 9 o'clock, because you could bet the Bills in the first game. And if they win and cover, take your winnings, call it a night. But instead, we got to worry with this damn 6:15 and 7:15 stars. This is bullshit.
That's probably actually why Vegas they probably influenced this.
Godson says he loves the Jade and the Bill props. Yeah, Bill to score a touchdown is even money, +100. So that's not as good a price as it was last week.
We need to write all these prop plays down and just play them.
Yeah. I don't see Daniels touchdown prop listed yet. Also the passing props. Most props, usually you see touchdown score props posted early in the week, where the yardage and, receptions, carries, all that stuff, that gets posted closer to Friday.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do think Bill is definitely taking over as the lead running back in Washington. All right, that's our NFL preview for week 6. So it's time to get to best bets now, Mr. Sharp. So if you're watching, got a best bet for this week, throw it in the chat. We'll talk about it before we close out the show. I think I still technically have the honors because we both had losers last week. But if it's okay with you, let's change up the vibe. If you are ready, I'll You can go first with your best bet unless you need a little bit more time to make a final decision.
No, I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills laying 4.5. Take a little chalk here. I usually like to bet the dogs, but I just think Josh Allen's going to be PO'd after that, and he's going to put on a show.
Yeah, man, I like that play, and the numbers back it up. So my best bet, I'm actually going to baseball. I'm going to trust in your guy, Tarek Skubal, John.
Oh, baby.
I take the Tigers to win Game 5 on Friday in Seattle. This is the exact same spot that Skubal was in last season. Game 5 of the ALDS on the road. Last year was in Cleveland. You may remember he was pitching great. Then he gave up a grand slam to Lane Thomas in the 5th inning. Tigers lost that game.
That was lefty on lefty crime, too.
He was righty. Lane Thomas was righty.
Is he a switch hitter, maybe?
I actually just looked at the I looked at the
if he's a righty, then okay, yeah.
Yeah. I looked at the highlight on YouTube today to make sure I had the name right, that it was Lane Thomas, and it was. Yeah, it was right-handed. But even with that game, Skubal, his stats in the playoffs are just crazy. 5 starts in his career, nearly 7 innings per start. His ERA is 2.14. His whip is 0.83. He's got a 11.5 K per 9. So he's nasty. The Mariners did beat him in game 2, but he just gave up 2 runs in 7 innings. But he's on full rest here. I think this is going to be like his moment where he reminds me of like a left-handed Chris Carpenter with like his intensity on the mound. And just, they got that experience last year in the spot. The Mariners are very, very good, but they are very green in this situation. So I think Skubal gets it done here. My best bet, Tigers on the money line in Game 5 on Friday. The current price on DraftKings is minus 137. It's a little bit high, but if you shop around, you know what to do. Get the best of the number.
Yeah. I love Skubal. Won me a fantasy title this year. He's just incredible. I'm ready. I'm excited to watch that game, but I would maybe go, I'm sure the numbers priced pretty well, but no runs in the first inning is probably a solid bet.
Oh,
that's probably going to be minus 250 or something. It's going to be too juiced up.
Something crazy. Yeah, it's not posted yet, but the total for the game is 5.5.
Oh, I mean, in Seattle, it's a tough place to hit the ball too at night. So
I don't know if I've ever seen a total of 5.5 before in a baseball game.
Maybe a Wrigley with the wind blowing in.
Yeah.
That might be an auto bet for the over.
God. Chargers -4 for the Godson's best bet. Love me some Herbo. Yeah, I think it's going to be.
And then I did give out some props last Thursday night, and I hit 7 out of 8 on those prop plays that I put out. Dabbling around, I didn't bet them personally, but just starting to do some research, and I need to get more into the prop market. I really loved baseball, the prop market this season. Cash and bets. I'm going to cash that Nick Kurtz American League Rookie of the Year for sure. So I'm starting to get into the NFL prop market, and this is going to be a test run for me this season, and then next season I'll let it fly. It's kind of how I like to do things. I'm getting old in my age, and I like to make sure it's going to work before I bet it live.
Yeah, it's a good way to do it. I think you're going to love the when legal gambling is here, all the props available for baseball. In particular, just your entire world is opened up where you don't have just to look at sides and totals anymore. You can really hone in on one aspect of the game that you love and just hammer that. I think it's going to be really, really good for people that follow baseball closely, like you and me. We have some great baseball games coming up. The Phillies, it looks like they're going to force a Game 4 in LA. They're up 8-1 in the 8th inning as we speak. So
it looks Cubs, like I gave out 4 baseball picks today. It looks like I'm going to go 2-2 today, but fun stuff, man. MLB baseball is so fun.
Yeah, the Cubs staved off elimination today, so you're going to have Game 4s tomorrow with the Phillies and the Dodgers and the Brewers and the Cubs. Friday, again, my best bet, Tigers at the Mariners. The Blue Jays did wrap it up tonight, beating the Yankees 5-2. I know a lot of it. The Yankees were a big favorite in that one. Everyone was loving them. Some Schlittler,
yeah.
I don't want to be Big Poppy's been having issues with that name on the broadcast. He actually pitched pretty well, 6 1/3 and only 2 earned runs. 2 of those 4 runs, 2 earned.
Yankees had bases loaded in the 8th with 1 out, and they didn't cash though.
Yeah, so
Um,
Blue Jays get it done. Yeah, I
I
would
like the
love to see.
Dodgers. I think the Dodgers will take care of business tomorrow if they don't win tonight, and then I like the Brewers to get it done. I don't think the Cubs. This was do or die, but I think the Cubs aren't going to beat the Brewers.
I agree. The Brewers, I think this was a perfect matchup for them because the Cubs are a familiar, comfortable opponent.
Yeah,
I think next round it's anybody's game, whether they're playing the Phillies or the Dodgers. But the Brewers just they tend to not play badly 2 games in a row. like
right.
that was the secret for them this year. They were just so damn consistent. That's how they had the best record in baseball. Real quick, home team plays of the week. Again, favorite play with the games involving the local teams. If we're counting the Chiefs as a local team, which I do because I do write a betting preview for them for all their games on stlsportscentral.com, it's that over 52.5 in the game with the Lions. I think that's the play I have the most confidence about. Where I think we get another Sunday night classic, like it seems like we do more weeks than not. So, like that, like the Blues tomorrow. I think that's worth a dart. Probably second favorite play would be also the over in the Mizzou Alabama game. I think that game is ripe for an over. What do you think?
Yeah, hometown. I like Bama -3 just for a little emotional risk management. I'm rooting for Missouri, but that's how I bet that one. I like the Blues money line, and then I like the Chiefs laying 2.5 at home. Makes me sick to say that out loud as a home team. Oh God, gross. But yeah, and then I guess City's over, so that's really all we got is the Blues, Missouri, and the Chiefs. That's it.
You're gonna hate this. City's got one more game. It's next week. They got to buy
Oh,
this week.
oh my gosh. Get it. Just be done with the seat. Can they forfeit?
I mean, they're hot right now. Might have to bet them next week.
Oh, gross. They're hot when it
Uh,
doesn't count.
Timmy has still with us to the bitter end. An hour and 37 minutes in. The Gator man.
They
Timmy, have you
really
loved
do
it?
have a game. Oh my goodness.
You do. You do. Fun show tonight here tonight, Mr. Sharp. Looks like we're about to go rob a bank with the black we have on. So let's get our plans ready for that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go watch Chad Powers. When I get in bed.
I got to get on that.
Have you
If
seen it?
I've not seen it yet, but yeah, it's on my list of things I want to
Oh,
watch.
it's incredible. You'll love it.
Yeah, I can't wait. If you enjoyed the show, do us a favor, hit the like button, subscribe to the STL Sports Central YouTube channel if you haven't subscribed already. And again, most important, number one thing you can do to support the show is support the advertisers. It's really easy to support DraftKings. And of course, you do yourself a favor by supporting James Carlton with State Farm Insurance. Highly confident he'll be able to save you money like he did for me. So get a quote tomorrow during normal business hours. Takes a couple minutes. Phone number is 314-961-4800 or go to carltoninsurance.net. That
And
is Sean. Oh, yeah,
one
go ahead.
thing before we get out of here, if you're still listening or watching, don't give up on the NFL season with me just yet. I'm taking a little bit of a break. It's a long season. Don't love these lines, and just be selective with your gambling for real. You got all season. You got till February where your end of season money is with the NFL. So don't blow it all at once. Don't blow all your winnings after 4 or 5 weeks. It's a whole long season. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Put it on my tombstone. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And it's so true. Let's see. Follow us in the Action Network app. Get all of our official picks that we put in for the NFL this week and every single bet we make in any sport. Mr. Sharp, $44.99 for Sean E. Sontag for me. That is Shawn Surwillo. I'm Eric Sontag. This has been Domesticated Gamblers here on STL Sports Central, presented by DraftKings. The crown is yours. Thank you for being with us, guys. We will see you next Wednesday.
Let's cash some bets.